Hello, everybody. As usual, there is something that goes wrong whenever I think I have everything prepared, but that's the life of a fancy setup, I guess. So, 1 second here. We're gonna switch to a little lighthearted music tonight. Hello. So, we were off last week. Life was way too chaotic last week for streams, thanks to snowstorms and other stuff. And I wasn't sure about tonight either. It was going in one direction, but yeah, good things happen at the end. So, welcome. My name is Eric, if you're new here. I try to do this every week, either Wednesday or Thursday night, talk about the R language, my favorite tool of choice for statistical computing, and also building web applications with the Shiny package within R. I do a lot of, sometimes crazy stuff on here and sometimes useful stuff. It depends on your perspective. But yeah, I'm happy to be here again, and I got some cool stuff to share as I was plugging away at some things that have been hindering my development of a really fun project. I made some really nice progress on it and had some kind of aha moments to make it all work, and it's not done yet, but I'm feel like I'm getting closer to getting that out the door. So that would be the Shiny Learning package I'm working on. We'll get to that in a little bit. And I also have some prep work to do for an upcoming, I guess, kind of, I don't want to call it a conference, but like a special event later in the month. So I'm going to do a little bit for that. And if I'm adventurous enough, I might show you all my next racing adventures that myself and my my Linux friends in the streaming world have now gone full bore into major geekery with setting up custom servers, setting up APIs. It's crazy, but in a good way, of course. So anyway, Unicorn Coder, welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Tan, how are you doing? Good to see you on the chat here. And I know you've been getting in the swing of things a bit too, so hope you're on the mend as well. So okay, let's dive into it. I do have a bit of okay. We're gonna get to that. So hold that thought of KWs, if I'm saying that right. Welcome to the stream. Glad you're here. And it's a different game than what you all saw me do about a year ago. There's fun stuff around that. So if we want stories about that, we can definitely do that. So let's do a little bit of interactive follow-up, if you will, based on a conversation or a thread that I just participated in that I want to give some comments on. Whether I write a reply to this in Twitter or not, I'm not sure, but let's dive into here. Okay, so to set this up a little bit is about when did this come through? I think it came through about half hour or an hour ago my time, but obviously for Miles McBain, who is based in Australia, this is obviously a much different time, but I'll read this to you all. It says, "Do you hear that? It's a sound of the sky not falling in after I deployed a Shiny app with 201 dependencies to production. Packages are controlled using RM and isolated using Rocker. Stress about dependencies breaking when they break. Otherwise, live your life." So, there are a few things here that should sound familiar if you watched my streams before. I've been developing Shiny apps here on stream with RM to manage the packages and in my fancy schmancy Docker setup for development. And I even experimented with deploying one of these to help with the R Pharma conference a few months ago. So of course I had to jump on this. First, Miles is one of the most talented people I've ever met. We got the good fortune of meeting at the 2019 RStudio Conf, I believe. And he gave a great presentation there about think it was called like The Magic of Open Source. Really engaging talk, but he is just brilliant at the work he does over there, and he's also one of the biggest adopters of my good friend and colleague Will Landau's targets package. Miles is right up there as like one of the biggest power users of that workstream. But anyway, back to this tweet here. So I had to chime in here. I think this is awesome, as you might imagine. And I mentioned all my recent Shiny apps released in the wild, i.e. the open source, have been following that same idea. And developed with VS Code to boot, which Miles has helped with an extension of. And so I shamelessly put in my link to that over-the-top racing dashboard metric app, which kind of followed this similar philosophy. Now, Chase is also one of my better friends in the R community. We've met at multiple conferences, like our Pharmas in the past. Really smart guy. I always enjoy talking with him. And certainly I want to give this good justification here for a response. He says, I think most would say that's bad advice. The kick the can down the road approach is great until you're down the road and need to add on or update, and you have to do a major refactor due to dependency issues. So I think that's a fair assessment. Obviously Miles is having a little bit of fun with the message, but I think I know the intent of it. Yes, the number of like 200 when you add it all up can cause maybe some alarm. Certainly I can see that. But what's nice about RM is that if you're not familiar with RM, sorry, I'll take a step back. That is the I'll show it here on stream. I always look at their home site almost daily when I'm going through it. But RM is kind of like the R community's answer to things like virtual env and the like in the Python world, where you can manage the state of your package library. I cannot live without this, especially for my day job projects, but frankly, even the stuff I'm doing here. It gives me the control to say, I want this version of, say, Shiny, this version of dplyr and the like, and most of the time, I can control that with the lock file that it creates. So that'll lock the version, the hash of the package, etc., etc. So everything is, if I'm under control of it, I can make it work. And I would say that it has totally enabled me to do some really amazing Shiny stuff at work, especially. And so, yeah, let me go back to Chase's response here. He says, I've known you both through Twitter or otherwise for a while and think you both know there's a lot more nuance that goes into evaluating dependency management than comes across in the original tweet. Saying 200 deps is okay could really be misleading to people new to coding. Okay, fair points, Chase. Again, I get where you're coming from. Now, in the perfect world, I would be able to only choose the dependencies I really need. But sometimes, maybe you have like, say 15 packages that each have like a huge feature you need. Some could be small, some could be big. But of course, in R itself, with the community of packages, those packages have their own dependencies. And that network can spiral quite a bit. So I do recall for one project where on the surface it only had, I would say, like 10 or so core packages in that development. Well, one of those core packages was a wrapper on ggplot2, but it did some Bayesian visualizations as well. And because it did some Bayesian visualizations, it took in Bayesian model objects, which are produced with things like rstan, which is the R wrapper to the stan library for Bayesian computation. Well, that brought in a boatload of dependencies for that project. That was crazy. And if I look at the the actual, say, lock file of that app, that probably was approaching around 150 or 200. But to Miles' point here, the number itself may not be the full story. And certainly some people might get a little, paranoid about seeing 200, but I think it's how you manage it. It's how you assess it for the purposes of your project. Again, I'm coming from the Shiny perspective, but this could be for anything that's mission critical in your pipelines. It's up to you as like the architect of that, or at least somebody on the team supporting that infrastructure, to really know the intent of that dependency and be able to determine, does it have the features you need? And frankly, at that point, when you're happy with it, when you're happy with the version you have, use RM to lock it the heck down, so that when there's a new upgrade to, say, your works R library, and they refresh all the packages from CRAN, and then you're suddenly stuck with an upgraded version of a package that has a breaking change. Nobody wants that situation. I've been there. Trust me, I've been there. So I think even with a large number of packages, as long as you and your team are careful enough about how you lock that down so that only things are upgraded when you need it, then I think it can still work. And honestly, I'm certainly biased towards this a little bit because I've gone through a situation recently which hit me to the core of what I believe in terms of what production means. So that's I better hold off on that a little bit. But I think with the right attention to detail, this can definitely be a really nice workflow. And certainly container technology is another huge step in this area, where now it's not just locking down the version of R, it's then locking down the system dependencies that some of those packages have in place. And what I tried to do at that R Pharma conference with that quiz app was to deploy that entire, bundled container on a platform as a service thing, is to have that reproducible environment for execution. And I'm very happy for it turned out 95% good. The extra 5% is because I think I was doing too much with MongoDB and Kubernetes stuff, but I got really darn close, and I'm really happy with what that gave me. Ironically, I can't do that exact flow at work because Docker is not exactly. It's getting better though. It's getting better, but that's another thing all entirely. So anyway, Chase, I get where you're coming from. I think it's a balance of being able to have clear set of responsibilities for who's managing that library. And especially if you're in a team environment, like what I did recently, and I tried to be, very firm about it, is if somebody needs a new package in that app's library, they gotta come to me first, because I am not going to throw something in that risks breaking an app for something that really doesn't need to be there. So, and also making sure there's clearly maybe one or two people that are responsible for doing that update of the package library. You don't want some random developer that's only there for a short period of time suddenly throw in the tidyverse package in RM because they think it's funny. Well, not exactly, but anyway, that's somewhat inspired by a real situation. So it's interesting. It can go a lot of different ways. So certainly appreciate the thoughts, Chase, and I think it's a big topic. Well, and honestly, I'm being a little facetious here. I mean, it could be anything like that. But its communication is important, as a cliche goes. If you communicate with your developer team, you can make the call then as a group of is this really worth it or not? But it all comes through experience too. So it's a lot to go on there. So yeah, so Tan has a great point. This hits a lot of us. Is sometimes the trouble can be with many dependencies is the install time, which hence comes full circle to the rather famous package that we've been talking about around this and other streams. The pack package to help with some of that. It may not help with everything, but it can help a little bit. And it's still a little flaky with it in my work environment. I know some tricks I have to do to make it work, but it's certainly gonna help in that situation. So I'm not sure, maybe I'll clip that 10 minutes or so for a separate segment to point to Chase and Miles and get their thoughts on it. But anyway, okay, hydrate time, we'll get to some fun stuff. Okay, first, I'm just super stoked of what this looks like. The revamped, brand new Shiny Developer Series website. My mishaps of Hugo that you all saw the last time we streamed have been put to rest. A lot of learning on this one. A lot the hard way on the innards of Hugo, the innards of layouts, short codes, loops within Go's language and stuff. It's been a process, but I think it turned out great. I'm really pleased with this. There's still some things to iron out, but this is, I feel proud to point people to this, where before, with the way the academic thing kind of like stagnated a little bit in the old version, I rarely pointed people to like an episode's page on here. I would just point them to the YouTube video, which, to be candid, is probably how most people watch this stuff anyway. But when I can point to a page like this, I think somebody would want to go here. I think it's because now you get the guest info right here. In this case, episode 29 with Douglas Mesquita and Luis Gustavo Silva. They were fascinating to talk about the Fair Split app, and a fun conversation. Lots of laughs, lots of like, yeah, I know how that goes, but it's really it's going to be fun to interact with this and develop this. Now, I want to say that this is by far not a finished product, because it's going to be much easier in this Hugo apparel theme to do new sections that both kind of appease like a blogging type platform, but also like collections of stuff I work on. And that's where in the docs, like the example docs repo they have for Hugo apparel, they have a section called collections where people might put like a group of related pages together. Well, that will be perfect for like the packages I'm working on here, or the apps I'm working on here. Like the Shiny Cal could have its own collection. The Shiny Learning could have its own collection. This crazy over-the-top racing stuff could have its own collection. So that, I think, is really going to be a good time. So, and yeah, as Tam pointed out, one thing that I'm also a big fan of is when you go to these posts here, you can comment, not with like the discus thing that you often see, but with GitHub itself. So this will go directly to my Shiny Dev Series site repo as an issue for this particular episode. So that, I love it. I mean, I live in GitHub every day at work with everything I do, so it just makes sense to consolidate that in one place. So that is great for like per episode feedback. And of course, if somebody has like more general feedback, I used to do this as a Shiny app. I'll get to that in a little bit, but now with this Hugo apparel theme, they integrate with another free service, Form Spree, I believe. And it's just a simple contact form, no thrills, but it just works, and I didn't have to set anything up for it. It just literally was just plug and play at that point. Oh, so, okay, yeah, Tan, you're bringing up a good point. Is that there is another alternative to utterances called Giscus. I don't know how to pronounce it. Because now with GitHub having discussion boards, that might be more appropriate as like a back and forth about a general thing about, you know, in this case, an episode or whatnot. And I think Hugo Apparel does support that. I just got to plug it in. So I will definitely follow up on that and see if that's a better fit. I haven't explored it myself yet, but I get the flexibility. This stuff was not possible with the academic thing. The academic theme, you could bolt stuff on, but it felt quite hacky. And I'm not even sure if it's going in the direction that people like anyway. That's probably ranting about other stuff. But anyway, Hugo Apparel was awesome, and I'm hoping to actually get more involved with the maintenance of this, because it's really motivated me to work on this stuff again. Okay. All right. So I know we're jumping around here, but I'm excited to be able to talk to all of you again. It's been far too long. So let's get to some coding, shall we? So where did I leave off with Shiny Learning? There were some issues that I had to solve to make things dynamic enough, because there was still some hard coding in places about, in particular, having, say, one of these page snapshots or two or three, of having the boilerplate of those being called dynamically. And I'm not gonna have any qualms that what I've done is a perfect solution, but I think it's enabling me to make this a lot easier. So let's look at the template first of the app itself. This is going to look a lot different than the last time you all saw this. So the intent of this script here, this app.r, is not so much to be worked on by the actual user of the package. This is literally meant to be like a static file in most places, and all the user of this package would have to do is just run this in their RStudio or VS Code or whatever environment it is. So of course we load packages, and some of these are used in the template, but I am going to dynamically give them a utils like script that's going to have additional functions that you're about to see that makes this dynamic feature possible. So first up is a Shiny Learning project has modules for each of these like sub pages that the app will have to show kind of the evolution. Yeah, Isomorphers, welcome. And yes, I understand recursion can be a very painful thing. But I think I've got enough here to make it work. But who knows, maybe it'll blow up in my face later on. So the first step is I have one page that's always going to be there, and I'm going to call that the home page. We'll get to that in a little bit. But then besides that, I'm just going to go into the directories that are, again, named a specific way, called page 1, page 2, etc. In fact, we'll have to do a new prototype here in a little bit. And then grab all the R files associated with that, which should be just the module files, along with some other supporting stuff. So we just source those in with a per walk, and just source those into memory. And this was another pain point, was creating the navigation bar, because before it was kind of broken. It would kind of create it to be like this hugely wide or vertical thing. But now I have a function called gen_navbar that's going to basically generate that for each page. But each page is going to get a slightly different flavor of it, so we'll get to that. And then to actually launch the app, this is where things were hard-coded before. But now, through another clever use of map here, going through page IDs, so this may be like page 1, page 2, etc., and this custom UI code for the navigation bar that's also a list based on which page it is. And this is back to where Dr. Daniel was very helpful, along with Tan, to give me insights into Erlang to kind of translate those into, in fact, what it's doing here is it's evaluating the navigation link functions, but making sure it's using them the right way. I'll have to tell you what all that means in a little bit. And then now I use a do.call to say, okay, run the brochure app, but with this list of page objects that could be 1, 2, 3, or who knows how many. So now there's no hard coding needed for this particular piece. Okay, so that's a long-winded way of saying, okay, we've got a much better template here. And then this is the utils that will be given at the time the shinylearning app is initialized. So one function is called getPages, which in essence is a convenience wrapper to get the page IDs that are present in the app. So again, dynamic. Oh, okay. Well, speaking of my racing friends, Big Pot is here. Hello. Came by to say hi while creating another horrible Trackmania map. So, okay, let's diverge a little bit. So what Big Pot is saying is that myself, Big Pot, and my other friends from the Linux community are now going to have already embarked on absolutely addictive racing game called Trackmania. It's actually been out a long time and it's had different sequels, but it is so much fun. I'm not sure if they have any playable videos here, but it looks gorgeous. The tracks are very, fun, and we do Trackmania 2 Stadium. It's kind of a more up-to-date version of it. But unlike the racing we did before, we have stuff cooked up for like custom maps, custom tracks that obviously Big Pot's been working on, custom servers, custom API endpoints that we're all cooking up, custom cars, custom avatars, and even tweaking what the games look like, what the game rules are. We have so much customization here. And I kid you not, for like the past 3 weeks, I'm not sure how long it's been, I've been added as a fellow admin to like the server that Martin and Yannick have been spinning up here, and the activity of this has just been through the roof of like bootstrapping custom libraries, custom APIs, plugins for this Trackmania server-side component, grabbing metrics into databases. Like, this is a stats and data sciences geek dream come true, that I'm going to have so much data to play with in this. And I even tested this out a little bit earlier today when Yannick gave me a few API endpoints. So that's going to be in this stream one way or another as we start developing the things similar to what I did back with the Hotshot Racing exploits, where we had a data entry app, which I don't have to do this time because now it's going to be all automatic for us, but also some kind of dashboard to visualize the league standings, individual player performance, track metrics. You just wait. Buckle your seatbelts. We're going to have tons of fun with this. So I'm super excited for it, if you couldn't tell. Unicorn Coder, you have a good question. Is there a Tron race game? Well, maybe somebody made a map like it. I don't know yet, but that sounds like a good idea for custom cars to make like a speed cycle race car. That would be super fun. So So Big Pot, now you have me very curious what that map looks like. So at some point I will put my skills on this. So speaking of skills, I have not played this game before this all took place. So I am by far not near the top, so to speak, in terms of the racing times. And if you recall from last year, I did end up winning the championship in that hotshot racing last season. So I've got some work to do to bring those skills here, because it handles a lot differently than hotshot racing. A lot more, not that there wasn't technique involved in hotshot racing, but for this, you have to have a pretty good strategy in place, because these maps are almost insane. So yeah, we're gonna have fun with that. OBS was kind of cranky when I was putting it up. Otherwise, I might try showing you all what it looks like on stream, but I don't want to break things now. So anyway, back to this. So okay, so this is the function to generate the navigation bar, where it'll look kind of odd. It's basically grabbing gosh, now I have to figure out what I was doing here. It's been a few days since I built this. Oh, I'm dynamically generating links to each page, and if there is a home page, is just hard code that in here. Which most of the time there's going to be like a home page. I'll get to what that means in a little bit. But then for the rest of the pages, we're going to map through these links and the page IDs to basically dynamically generate an A tag, which is like an HTML, like the thing you click on. And if that page ID was meant to be the active tab, when active tab means like what's selected at the time that nav bar is displayed, then you can give it a class called active with some CSS that I'll get to in a little bit, and then get the href of just the link. Otherwise, you just don't do that class active, and you just get the link. And that's about it. And then you just wrap that all up in a tag list with a custom div that determines the style, and then you've got it. So, okay. Let's actually build one of these. Let's clear off some cruft first, because we got all those other prototyping ones are definitely out of date now. So let's do some spring cleaning here, shall we? In our lovely fish shell here. We're going to do a bit of RMs, RFs on this. In fact, we can just do wildcard. Those two out. Let's get the nav bar layout. Let's get rid of that page play. And let's get rid of path test. And we'll keep the stuff that we worked on from a while back, just in case I need it, especially those dev notes. So okay. So let's get this going. So let's load our environment. Okay. And let's see what... It's kind of sad. I still have to look up what I call it, but it's add shinylearning. And then we're going to call it track, because we're talking about tracks. And then path will be prototyping. There we go. This is very basic here. And now let me show you what the app.r file looks like in this area. Not a lot different than what you saw before. In fact, it looks basically the same. But then we have our page 1 module, where now we've got two things, so I do want to talk about this. So the page UI and page server. Page UI does have an argument for navigation links, because that's going to be put at the top of each page. the page server can be anything we like, but then here is where things get interesting. And of course, I gotta say hello to Dr. Daniel Chen. How are you doing? Glad you're here. And Big Pod, yeah, I know R is not your thing, but believe me, Docker is front and center in all this, and you've been knee deep in that, and I'm looking forward to streamlining some of my container setup here as I go forward. But this page one here, this function right here, is what used to be hard coded in that app.r file back in before when I worked on this. But what I figured out was that in my template for these pages, I just have this as a template where this one could be like a 2 or a 3 or a 4, depending on what snapshot it is. But then we're able to just inject like that snapshot ID in these references, and it's going to always include the same CSS. And in this case, this never changes. Like practically the only thing that changes in these functions is the name of it and like what the page ID is. Otherwise, everything stays the same. So as long as I just have that boilerplate in there at the time this module was created, this module file could care less about how much is in here as long as these specific functions are there. So that's what's going to be sourced when those module files are sourced, is actually this function at the same time, which makes it so that I can grab these at will and just put them in here. So let's run the app and I'll show you what I mean. And yes, Big Pod, I am definitely going to be in touch with you about that. So for those that aren't aware, but Big Pod is actually now one of the very talented engineers at Slim AI, which is a startup that also my good friend Martin is working at, to help take your Docker containers and strip out what can be huge amounts of, say, non-necessary libraries or files from it, and greatly reduce your file size and potentially make sure that you're not vulnerable with, say, security exploits in certain libraries. So highly recommend it. I've had some adventures with it before. Shiny is still a little tricky with it, but we're gonna make it better. So Big Pod, that is something we will talk about on the Discord for Slim AI, is going back to the Shiny example I gave you all from before, and make sure that we have it clear how people can get up and running with that, because I have some good friends in the Shiny community that are now looking at Slim AI, and I want to make sure their experience is solid too. So we will talk about that. And Cedar Prince, welcome. How are you? I'm glad you're here. We're about to run my latest template of Shiny Learning. And what I'm doing here is I'm using the wither package to just say run this app in this directory here. So this should do it.
That is ridiculous.
And of course it wouldn't. No, it's not prototyping. It's not prototyping. Prototyping track. This should do it. I did this on my laptop, so famous last words. Okay, here we go. I know dark mode. I know. Let's get this. Okay. Now, this looks extremely boring. I can imagine. But we'll get to what makes that home tab in a little bit. But then here is page one. Now, this is subtle. I want you to pay attention to this. I clicked it. And you notice it does gray out a little bit at first. That's because, unlike a typical navigation bar in a Shiny app, these tabs represent different applications. So it's almost like you're leaving one app, going to another, and I still don't have a great way of like making that look better. But these are self-contained apps inside. So this is, again, boring plots, boring tables. But yeah, bslib. So somebody could throw bslib on here and then they're all set. Like there's so much you can do with this that you as the user of the package can do almost whatever you want in these modules. So the part that we need to fix, which I need to update, is how we do the snapshots. Because there's one part there that hasn't quite been... Actually, maybe I did fix it. We're about to find out, I guess. Okay, so... I'm really pleased with that.
Whoa, that'll
effort.
have a mark.
Yes, it will leave a mark.
Whoa, dumber than advertised.
Hey, settle down there. So that just getting that app.r in the right format was huge for me, because that was so I thought I was going to do some more like crazy stuff, but it actually ended up being not too bad once you get the hang of how to do this like template generation. Okay, so let's see where I left off with the snapshot shinylearning function, which is meant to be the way we take the contents of one module and throw it into another. So I think the part I struggled with was... yeah, now I know what I was getting kind of perplexed about before, is this part right here. I need to be able to carry that forward but not do anything crazy. So I guess we'll see what happens if I try this now, because I feel like something might break with it, but we will see. So let's just give it a go and see what breaks. So that's snapshot shiny learning, and so the path will be that prototyping track. Well, let's just see what this says. It probably will error out. Oh, it didn't. Okay. Well, let's see. Did it do it the right way is the question. So let's look at page 2. Ah, see. Yes. Yeah. I haven't done this yet. So that needs to be... Oh, you know what? I have... Oh, I have a duplication that I didn't realize here. This should not be here. Like, I think what happened was I did it in 2 places. So what the heck did why did I do that? Like, maybe I forgot to eliminate something. Let's go back in my... I may have to go back to my commit history on this. What I did here. New template module. What did I do? Oh, that's for the home page. Add shiny learning. Streamline page template. Okay, I did add that on purpose, so I think I should have eliminated it from here. Yeah, I remember now. So this is what happens when I have to like strategically work on this while waiting for a kid to sleep or at practice, is I miss like one thing in my workflow. So we're gonna close this. We got some more little modification to do, but it's not terrible. So these templates here, this one here does not need this, because that is being added in here. And I do recall why I separated these out. So, but I want to first make sure that it still works after making this change. So we're gonna have to wipe out the prototype there. And we'll go back here and we'll just do this all over again. Okay. Let's make sure this part works. Yes, it does. Okay, so that was the thing I missed last time. Okay. Good. Good. Alright. I'll shout con on now. Alright.
If you have a consumer complaint, just call this number.
Yes, I will, Kent. I will. Alright. So we're gonna remove that. Okay, so duplicated page function template. That in here. Okay. So okay. I'm gonna catch up on chat a little bit. I gotta process this in my head as I think about where to go next. So in my R directory, this add shinylearning. Populate template page 1 app mod. Yeah, okay. So this is the snippet right here. So what this snippet here is doing is saying, take that page function template script, throw in the name of the snapshot, in this case page 1, and fill it up, and then write it out. Now this, so first, if you're catching this operation is repeated multiple times. That's copy pasting like a function or very similar set of code more than twice. And as Hadley would say, it's time to make a function out of that. And that will also be used in another place. So that's why now we're just gonna make we're gonna make a new script. So this is what I meant to do before. No, not that. New file. One thing I don't like about this is that I'll throw it out to all of you experts out there. When you name your scripts, your R scripts, do you do the capital R at the end or the lowercase r? For some reason, VS Code thinks it should be a lowercase r, but I've always done capital R for the longest time. Okay, so okay, good. You may want to talk to Miles about that because I don't know why that default, or maybe it's Microsoft's decision on that. Who knows? Okay, capital R it is, folks. I concur. Now this function I'm about to make is definitely not that fancy, but it's really a simple utility thing. So actually, it will go here, but it'll also have to be copied into that shiny utils script as well in the template. So what I mean by that is that this is also going to be used by the user actually no, it's going to be part of shinylearning. Never mind, I'm confusing myself. So let's go here. I'm just going to call this the very creative name of utils, and we're going to put it in here. Okay, so what this function should be called, let's get this out of here, that, don't need that, let's move this here. What should I call this? Build template? Yeah, we'll go with it. So the arguments to mirror kind of what's going on here is we have a file path. Let's look at this one first. So app path, page ID, page or file name. Yeah, good enough. Okay, so path. Call this snapshot ID. And then template file. There's probably better ways to name this, but we'll just go with it. So then we're literally going to copy this out. I'll just make the comments more generic after I do this. Template file. We don't need that part. Oh, wait a minute here. Oh, this does that app title thing, doesn't it? Wait, no, I don't need it for this. This page is not going to have an app title, so yeah. We don't need that. Okay. Oh, what did I do? Something like deletion, I guess. Temp contents, data. Oh, data should be just app snapshot equal 1. So that yeah, maybe we'll now I want to see what I call it here. Snapshot name. If there's no snapshot name, it just does page whatever. Okay. I'll think about this a little bit, but let's just do. Actually, to be safe, I'm just gonna call it the same thing. I'm gonna give it a default of 1 to help myself for it. And we'll move template file over here because it's not. There's no default value for this, at least not yet. Okay. App path. Let me go back here a second. Oh, okay. It's copying it over. Okay, yeah. Alright, I got it. So it's copying over, so it might be page 1, it might not be. Okay, I will just gonna break this up a little bit. I feel like I've gotta be a little more careful with this. Okay. This is gonna be glued out. Yeah. This will be template file. Then temp cop. This becomes app snapshot. Fill. And then this becomes same thing as before. in the world is this playing here? Oh, Metal Gear Solid. They always do this kind of like James Bondish sound. Okay. This is app snapshot. And this is template file. See, I missed the parenthesis here. Yep. Okay. I'm just gonna say visible true. It's meant for side effects, it's, so to speak. It's not meant to actually give me anything meaningful for now. Okay, so I've got a syntax error. Let's see what it's complaining about. Did I forget the... What's that going for? What's that blue line for? FS path. Right. Did I leave out a parenthesis? Oh, I left out a comma. No, not there. Where is it? Okay. What did I mess up here? Oh, there's a missing parenthesis. It's X fun. Yep. Build temp. It's there. Oh, that's funny. I did too many colons there. That's funny. Okay. There, that's looking better. That's looking better. So now, the key here is... Oh, the home one. Well, I'll leave the home one alone for now. But it's this one. I'm gonna try calling the function here. Fill template app path. And then this will be template file is image.r, and then snapshot of 1. That should give me the same thing as what this block gives me down here. But we'll do a browser here just to be absolutely safe. Okay, give it a whirl. The path will be prototyping. Okay. Oops. We should have MM9 here. We've copied everything over, but we haven't populated it yet. So let's see what happens when we do this.
Oh, joy!
Wow, I really messed that one up. Okay, cannot open file, prototyping MM9, page 1, page dot. What? Oh, okay, I must have messed up my template here. Really? Okay, I've got to debug that one. Why was it trying to do this? Google page on app underscore snapshot. Page apps. Oh, okay. Well, let's put the browser in there instead. Bizarre. Rid of the 9. Okay. And by the way, this is kind of a tangent, but when I'm typing, can you all hear the keyboard really loudly? Let me just do it again, just for kicks. That pretty loud? Just curious. Okay, we're here now. Let's just make sure my arguments are correct. We're typing in a 9 at snapshot 1 template file. There's .r. Okay, that's good. So actually, one of my previous guests on the Shiny Dev series looks like he's going to be getting into doing some tutorials with Shiny, or something anyway, maybe not Shiny, but he was asking me some advice on audio settings, and I want to make sure that the stuff I'm about to tell him actually did work, because he was saying that when he was trying it before, his microphone would pick up the keyboard like it's somebody kind of like hammering it or something. So I'm using like these kind of fancy noise filters in software within OBS to suppress that, but I wanted to make sure it actually worked. So thank you, Cedar Prince, for confirming that. Now let's see. Let's just first see if this FS path works first. And I see the problem already. The parentheses are mismatched. This should be here. Not in the quote. Here. Not here. I guess that was it. Parentheses strike again. So let's see what this looks like, this right here. Yeah, that's what it should be. Let's make sure I did it correct here. So it's basically the same line twice. That's maybe another thing I need to figure out. In fact, let's take care of that. Make a variable out of it. So then for the path, that should be this thing right here. So make it much more easier to reason with. This will be template path. Yep. Oops. And we're gonna fill that in. So yeah, that will be much better. Comment this just in case I screw this up, but I think I know what I'm doing here. Setup file equal path. Let me verify this first. Wait a minute. Nope, it can't be that. No, because we can change the name of it afterwards. So the template file could be different than the file we write. So we're gonna make that another argument. So what we'll do is we'll call that output path. It's going to be the same kind of line, but just with a different thing at the end. Output file. This becomes output path. That should do it. Well, let's first make sure this works. Yep, template path. And then I'm just gonna just hard code it here for now, but we'll run it for real later. It should be page 1.r, and then that should give us page 1.r, and then now temp contents. Let's make sure this gives us what we want. Yep, got the right contents there. It's got the wildcard, or the placeholders for app snapshot and app title. Yeah, okay. I'm actually going to take that out of the template here. I want the user to be able to do that themselves if they want after the fact. I shouldn't have to hold their hand for that one too. So that I'm saying bye-bye to app title. Yeah, then everything is peachy after that. And this didn't have app title. No, good. Okay. Oh, so yeah, Cedar Prince. This is the package I've been building for a while now called shinylearning, which is meant to give somebody that wants to teach stuff about Shiny a way to kind of visualize the evolution of an app from like prototyping to say polished or ready for production, and showing like the steps through that, but within a single app, so to speak, instead of like making separate apps for each of the steps that have their own like deployments and stuff. They can all be in one place. And a good analogy that we've seen in the art community, and Daniel had a good thought about this a while back, is that it's kind of like a flip book of like you're starting a plot with like ggplot2, and you're just building layers and layers on top, and this flipbook R package has a way to kind of visualize those steps nicely in the slides. This is going to be that same kind of thing for Shiny. So what I'm trying to do is just make it easy for the user to bootstrap the different like sub apps inside, and that's why I'm building these kind of templates along the way to make that happen. But yeah, that's what we're doing today. I feel kind of bad I didn't get this out sooner, because I don't know if you all saw the great work that Winston Chang, the leader of the Shiny team, has these great screencasts that I think Jesse Mastapak helped record of making a Wordle app from start to finish. I think the next episode is probably coming tomorrow, if I recall. And it will be, I can't wait to see it, because that's when they really put the extra polish on it. But that is a perfect use case of like how Winston started with like a simple prototype, worked on the business logic, worked on kind of the integrations, and he's about to show like the last step. That's exactly what this is supposed to be doing. At least helping out people with that. So yeah, good. Yeah, let's talk about this, Cedar Prince, because I think this is something I need to make clear in the docs. You're saying, could this be used by folks who know nothing about Shiny for, say, learning it? Well, it's actually going to be meant, like this package itself is meant for the people that want to teach it. So that if they're teaching something about building an app and kind of you know, how it goes from start to finish, that this is something they, the teacher, can use to construct this in one place, so to speak, and work with whatever students they have to show those steps. But certainly the end product of it, when that teacher or whoever is going to be teaching this is done making something like this with Shiny Learning, then absolutely that can be built for people that are learning Shiny itself. So that's, I probably need to rename this at some point, because Shiny Learning could be, I don't know, maybe it's not quite catchy enough or not quite the best way to say it, but the developer that uses Shiny Learning is like the teacher, the person giving the tutorial, but then the end product of it is going to definitely be consumed by the students that are trying to learn it. So I hope that helps. That's what I'm trying to do anyway. Okay, so we got the snippet was in, and then now we're gonna fill it. And this will be the key. If this works, then we're in good shape. No errors, so let's take a look. The prototyping. Page. Oh wait, that fill doesn't actually save it out yet, does it? No. Okay, let's look at it here. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Yep, page 1 UI, that's what I want. Yep, perfect. All right, now this is where it should be written. So let's see what happens here. Cat does give me page 1, moment of truth, and yes, it is back to the way it should be. Page 1 server, page 1 UI. Yep, perfect. I like that. We can wipe this out. We can... Yep, we keep all that. Yep, okay. Okay. So I think we're good there. And now... this can stay like this. I'm going to comment this out. We'll probably wipe it out. And now we gotta make the arguments consistent. So output file. This is going to be page 1.r. And then this. Yeah, we can. Oh, I see another part we need to work on. Is if they want to delete the original template file, let them delete it. So that should be a logical flag here. Delete template, say true, and then this is easy. If delete template, this is now going to be... Okay, so copy this and just... This is already the path, this is template path. Yeah. This would be this spelling the arguments now, so I can keep it in mind. Okay. Comment that out. This, okay, so this is the whole motivation, was to get to this point. So that we can instead
Each new day has a challenge of its own, but the
Move it
lights
here.
will see you through. Go left, go right, start another fight, come back, stay another night.
Page 1.
Right now, somehow, take another chance again. Turn it right around.
What did I do wrong here? Hold on.
So if ever you're in trouble, come back to fight another day.
Page function.r.
With the means to overcome what's in front of you,
Snapshot is 1.
you cannot see.
Output file is page 1 function.
You have saved.
And then we delete that one too. Okay.
Go left, go right, start another fight, come back, stay another night. You'll find your way. Right now, somehow, take another chance.
Sounds like I've heard this one before. What is this? Oh, Final Fantasy. Okay, cool. Okay, that should wrap that part up. We'll do it for real now. And see what chaos ensues next. Get rid of some cruft here. Okay, get rid of that file again, or that third.
Go left, go right, start another fight, come back, stay another night. You'll find your way. Right now, somehow, take another chance again. Turn it right around.
I did realize something.
So if ever you're in trouble, come back to fight another day. Beyond the horizon, look above the azure blue.
Is there may be a case where they don't have the template file in their copy of the app yet. It's going to be in the package itself. But I still want them to reference it, but it may just not be there. So if it's not there, then I need to copy it over from like what it's doing here. Okay. So I think I know what to do here. I'm gonna say copy over template file if it's not in path. Okay, so then that's if that's file. It's this. Oh yeah, I should wait to do this until here because the template path's already spelled out to me. And now this becomes this file copy, and of course VS Code did that. Templates, and then this instead of app.r, this is template file. Package shinylearning app path. Okay, that should take care of it. Okay. This should not have any effect on the stuff that's in this add shiny learning function, but it'll. Oh, actually, I could eliminate all this, or most, not all of it, not all of it. Well, no, I'll keep it there. All right. We'll try this again. Okay, I think I got rid of it, just in case. Now... make him at 10 this time. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Very quick, to the point. Did it work? Home page 1. This looks good. Page 1, yep, perfect. And page 1 here. Okay. So, good, good, good. We're on the right track here. Let's commit this before we go too much farther. First, we got rid of the remove that title from template. Set to home template now. Okay. Got rid of that. And then now we're going to we can get rid of some extra code here. Yep, that's a lot of stuff that we can get rid of here. That simplifies things quite a bit. Add function for filling template script. Okay, so the whole reason we did that, now we're finally getting back to my intention here, is that is going to go in here. Now, let's see. I need to determine, did it get that page 1 underscore functions file automatically? Oh, it's copying the directory, yes, okay. So this is where things will get a little tricky. I'm gonna have to I'll have to be careful here. Oh, Big Pot, I'm interested in what you have to say here. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep, but you say you wanna, your next project would be learning Go by making Docker into a package manager. Oh my goodness. If you stream that, I'm definitely gonna watch, because that looks really heady and maybe maybe quite difficult, but if anyone can do it, you can do it. So have a good night, Big Pod. You were up way too late, by the way, so get some rest. Okay, so back to this. I need to figure out, after I copy that, or if I can, after copying that directory, remove the current snapshot function file using some syntax like this. Yeah, current snapshot script. That's always going to be kind of like that. Okay. This is if the snapshot is there. Okay, okay. Oh, okay. So you're saying Docker. It's a front end to Docker. Okay, I got you. Yeah, that would be really cool. I hope it works. Figure out how to run. Yeah, I remember you and Martin were doing that stream with Dockerizing like Firefox or one of the browsers, and you were able to get that working, but it was tough. You're right. Okay. And I always love when it does this. This is the theme song of my old R podcast. That's cool. After the copy, this is where I need to remove it. Okay. Move. Function. I'm not sure how. Sure. Function. Script. File. We will regenerate it. What did I call it? Function? Yeah, function underscore function, okay. And this is where I'm gonna create a new, but use what we did here. Build template. This is set up app path, new snapshot path, template file, page function, app snapshot equal. And apps plus 1. Output file. This is another glue. Okay, and then delete template is true at the end. I think I got it. Okay. All right. And hi, Dad Onion. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're all doing well. We're tweaking my shinylearning project once again with some inside boilerplate here, but I think we're on the right track here. We're gonna put our browser right here and see where that takes us. Okay. this is the part where it'll be the moment of truth at that point. So let's build this up. Don't know that game. Okay. Time to snapshot it. It's my arguments, the path, and the snapshot name will be no. So go to typing and 10. Here we go. We have page 2 set up here, and then there's a page 1 underscore function. And that should evaluate. Let's just find out. Yep, page 1 function, so this should delete it. There we go. Get rid of it. Yep, it did. And now the fill template. App snapshot and apps plus 1. This should be 2. Yep. Output file. Let's find out. Apparently, I have a problem here. Failed to copy. Oh, so it must be a glue problem. Or it's a problem with the function itself. Okay. Okay. Maybe I missed an edge case here. We're going to get rid of that page 2 directory, and then we're going to try that again. RF, of course. This time we'll put the browser back in, or just do a debug once on it. No, not debug once, because I would do it for the early one. No, it would. Okay. No, it's fine. Let's try that again. Let's check our objects here. Prototyping MM10 page 2, that's correct. Template file is page function. Output file is page 2 function. That sure seems correct here. Wait, what was... I need to check what app snapshot is. Oh. That's... Oh, wait. I think we're okay. Hold on. Yeah, it's not going to exist here.
Oh, joy!
No. So what? I should have stopped that before I executed it. Templates, template file, template file. Path. So why would it? Okay, I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on there. Okay, back to the other problem. Must be doing something silly with the paths here, but we'll get there.
You call this a supercomputer?
Did I not execute it? Okay. Now this, let's see what this evaluates to. Templates. Did I screw this up all this time? Oh. Yeah, I did screw this up because this should be page and then this is definitely a little icky to me because I need to add a parameter for that too. This is getting a little not what I intended. No, I think we're okay. Well, not okay per se, but page. But that could be home too, but anyway, yeah, I think I know what I have to do here. So then this will be what? I'll have to figure out a more elegant solution to this, but this should get the job done now. So if I define that either page, then now this should return the right thing. Yep. Okay. Let's make sure this works. We're typing page 2. Yep, we got it. Okay. Now let's see what output path looks like. Yep, that's looking good. 10, page 2, and that'll be page 2 function. should have the template here.
What happened?
No, it ain't no mystery.
What did I screw up there? Oh, page 2 is there twice. Oh, why? Wait, what? Oh no, that is wrong. That's got 2 page 2s in there. What in the world would it do that for? Oh, wait a minute. That's not the right app path, is it? Ah, that's why. Okay. This should not be new snapshot path. That should be... path. Yeah, that was a logic flaw there. Should just be path. Okay, well, that was a interesting diversion. We're almost there, but Daniel, congratulations. You have a working Python install, which I find somewhat ironic because, oh, you say a sane Python install. Okay, well, I haven't done a lot with it, like just on my Linux box, other than some quick things here and there. But honestly, now I do throw that in Docker all the time because it just makes it easier to do like those pip install stuff without making my system get crazy with paths and things. So I know how crazy that can get. So kudos to you for making that work. We're gonna try this again. I think we're getting closer. We're getting closer, and then we'll call it a night after that. We're getting much closer. Okay, I wiped out the page 2 dir already. And then now, well, debug once. This app path, yes, this is what it should be. Okay, let's step through this.
Crap.
Oh, I didn't actually execute it yet. All right. Yes, that is more like it. That is more like it. Of course, it's not here, which means it'll bring it in. Right there. Wait. No, no. Okay, so the app path. It's, oh man, I've caught myself in a corner here. So this is based on the snapshot. Okay. Path. Oh, template path. What am I doing? It's template path. Okay. Okay, so let's get rid of it here. This should be it. There we go, that's where it belongs. So let's do the output path. Temp contents work this time. Build temp should work. Let's look at output path before we commit. Yep, page 2 function. Yes, finally. Okay. And now this one's gotta go. So will this pick it up? Let's see where our template path is. Page 2, page function. This should wipe it out. And it's gone. And we have it. I think we have it because now it's page 2 function and page 2, and these look good here. I don't care about the formatting, but the page 2 function is the right one. And now the moment of truth is, let's do this. Good. We got the home page, page 1, and page 2. Oof. Good. Okay. Oh, I'm excited, of course, but I imagine there is a lot better ways to do this. We're not losing, Earthworm Jim.
Crap.
We're not losing. We did good tonight. We did good. Small steps. Small steps. Okay, so this had major changes. This was fix path issues when copying template from package itself. Whoops. Forgot to add it in. Didn't I add it in? Yeah. Oh, I didn't save it yet. Oh, no wonder. Let's there we go. Okay, so everything else can stay. All that fancy stuff can stay. This means populate snapshot function script using package template. Let's start point a new snapshot. Oh, I didn't save that one either? Oh, good grief. Okay, there we go. And that is going to do it. Okay, so let's push this up. Okay, so before we sign off tonight, do a quick plug. It's still a couple weeks away, but I need to get working on this a little bit. But I am very excited to be speaking in a couple weeks at a very fun event called Data Mishaps Night. This is the second year they're doing it. Looking at stories of lessons learned from maybe a mistaken data processing or things like that. And boy, do I have a doozy of a story for this, which actually, to be honest, may have been shared once in this stream before, but I definitely can relate to some of these things. So, February 24th, it'll be evening my time, but definitely check that out if you want to hear some fun stories of people's adventures in data science with mistakes and mishaps. So yes, it is. Very good point, Daniel. It is like story time. Each speaker only gets 5 minutes, so it's going to move pretty quick. But I had a tech call with the organizers earlier today. I've actually seen them present, maybe at our Studio Conf before, but Caitlin Hudson and Laura Ellis. They're very fun. We had a fun chat today. And they just discovered that I do this stuff, so maybe they'll be watching this later on. But they're doing a terrific job with this, and I gotta start preparing to talk for it. So only 5 minutes, you don't get a whole lot of time, but I'll have some fun visual cues for it. But yeah, it should be a good time. So anyway, okay. Progress is made. We have now made it so that basically the two most important functions in Shiny Learning seem to be working. Now, of course, I am not building tests yet. That's coming up next to make sure I can catch any regressions, but the prototyping is successful. So now it may be time for refinement so I can get this thing out the virtual door sooner than later, so it can actually be used by people. So that'll be for another time. I'm going to get some shut-eye here. Thanks everybody for sticking around. It's been tons of fun. And like I alluded to, I think towards the beginning, you're about to see me join my favorite Linux friends with some racing adventures, probably starting either this weekend or weekends after on Sunday afternoons my time. And we're going to geek out on all the cool tech we're going to build for all of that. So going to be fun. Anyway, where to find me? You've seen the scrolling thing there. We're at our podcast on this channel, and Shiny Dev Series, the Twitter account. We got some more recordings coming up. One with a guest you've heard before in a different setting, and some other ones that I've not actually talked with before that has some really cool things to say. And like I said, the conference, Mishaps Conference, coming up in a couple of weeks. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in and sticking around for all the chaos that I always introduce in my coding adventures. And we will see you next time. Have a great night and take care. Bye-bye, all.